What is going on, guys? Welcome back. June 14th, and the Phoenix Suns are a wagon. Let me tell you guys, the Phoenix Suns are legit. I said last podcast they were legit, and they are. I really do believe they have a chance of winning the NBA Finals. And I'm wearing a Phoenix, my Booker shirt that I got. I love D-Book. We know this. But guys, let me tell you, how about the Suns? Devin Booker in closeout games. When you need him most, who can you rely on? The Hall of Famer Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Devin Booker in closeout games against the Lakers and now the Nuggets has had 81 points, so he's averaging just a little tiny more than 40 points per game in a closeout situation. That seems to be pretty good. 22 rebounds, shooting over 50% from three and the field goal just overall, and he's also shooting 95% from the free throw line. Devin Booker, you're an absolute monster. Love it. Absolutely love it. He played great, dropped another easy over 30, but my guy, Chris Paul, I got to give a shout out to Chris Paul. This is the first time in Chris Paul's history he's ever swept the team in the playoffs. So coming to Phoenix was a great decision for Chris, but he had 37 points. He's 36 years old. He scored more than how old he is. He had 37 and 7 assists, and he did it on 14 to 19 shooting. He was unbelievable. He would get to the elbow jumper, and he would make it. Little elbow fadeaway. And it was a tough shot. It was by no means was it an easy shot, and he made it look easy time after time after time. That's the most he's had in the playoffs since 2018. I'll tell you what, guys, this Suns team is playing their best basketball at the right time, and there's no denying it. You look, they've won 7 straight playoff games in a row. 7 in a row. They've won by an average of 16 points in those 7 games, which not only are they winning, but they're putting their foot on your throat and putting on the gas and blowing you out. They're running you out of the gym. They're running teams out of the gym. And not only that, when I watch the Phoenix Suns, I see a team that is very well coached by Monty Williams. That was my coach of the year. Even though Thibodeau got it, that was my coach of the year. And you look at last year's bubble when they were 8-0, the only team out of anybody actually to not even lose in the bubble, that was the Suns. You could see something building with them. And I wanted to see them in the playoffs to see what they can do. Now, this addition of Chris Paul in the offseason, I don't know if there's anybody in the NBA that was as important of a signing as Chris Paul was because of what he's doing in Phoenix. He's helping these young guys who are tired of losing in Phoenix and teaching them the winning ways. And they're doing a great job at it. You look at guys, Devin Booker, he's made for these type of moments. DeAndre Ayton. But when I watch this team, like I said, they're well coached. In college, you're more fundamentally sound than the NBA, right? Defensively, for sure. But when I watch this, I see guys like Mikal Bridges, Villanova, great coach, Jay Wright at Villanova, Cam Johnson under Roy Williams, great coach as well in college. But all the Suns guys, they're closing out with their hands up, chopping their feet. They're not lollygagging, running right by you, or doing any of that stupid stuff. No, they're actually doing legit closeouts. They're taking charges. Jay Crowder had 5 blocks last night. He was unbelievable. The Phoenix Suns are so fundamentally sound. You look at a guy like Chris Paul, who, yeah, he had a very rare turnover in Game 4 when they closed out the Nuggets. That doesn't happen. They don't turn over the ball. They don't take bad shot selections. And they're just a very well-coached team, very fundamentally sound. And everybody exceeds their role. They exceed their role of what they should play. And that's why I'm so high on this Suns team. I am. I think they're unbelievable. You have the depth to do it. And they're a close, tight unit. It all started when Jokic got thrown out of the game. Now, you could say it's a little controversial if it should have been a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2 when he took a swipe down at Cameron Payne and hit him in the face. Personally, I didn't think there was any need for Jokic to do a type of play like that. You could tell it was a questionable play. I don't think he deserved to be thrown out, especially he's the MVP. I feel like you should treat him a little better than that. I also do see where the ref is coming from by trying to keep this game under control. But if there was maybe a little more contact to the facial area, yeah, it could have been a flagrant 2. I mean, they gave him a flagrant 2 anyway, but that changes the game. Because you look at the Suns, yes, Jokic won MVP. Jamal Murray's right there with them. And now what I mean by that is Jamal Murray's in this series. Suns are not sweeping the Nuggets because the Suns have another scoring option. Jamal's that big of a piece to Denver. I love Jamal. You saw what he did in the bubble. He was lights out last year. And now this year, Without him, you're relying on Michael Porter Jr. with a back injury, who he's been inconsistent all series. He had a good game 4, though. Then you're going Aaron Gordon, guys like that, Monte Morris. Just, it's not there. This just wasn't the Nuggets here. And I would have been interested to see if Portland could have put up a better fight, but you cannot, if you're a Nuggets fan, I mean, they fought hard in game 4, so you can't be terribly mad at them. But you look at Jokic, I mean, just in the playoffs alone, he averaged 30 a game, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. So Nikola Jokic put his team on his back, and he was having great stat lines game in and game out. You can't expect him to be able to carry you. Yes, he won the MVP. Yes, right now he might be the best player in the NBA or playing like it over the regular season. That's what the MVP is for. But you got to have other guys. And without Jamal Murray, you needed more offense. There wasn't any offense. And when you're playing a juggernaut team like Phoenix, which I think Phoenix is the best defensive team in the NBA. Yeah, I really do. I do. The Phoenix Suns defensively are the best team in the NBA. And I'm 100% certain on that take. You know, everybody's very good at their role defensively. Devin Booker, we could work there a little bit, but they're just a good, tight unit. And when I say I do think the Suns can win the finals, I'm not joking when I say I actually do think so. I feel like Phoenix is starting to get the respect they deserve, but they're a great team. Yes, you look at Brooklyn, and they're a juggernaut. Who's going to beat them? Well, we'll get into that with their little injury issues. That could be something interesting. Now, you don't want to overlook the Jazz and Clippers. It's a one series at a time mentality. Phoenix gets to heal up. I am so excited to watch the next Suns game whenever it is, because they're a fun team to watch. They're a fun team to watch. Because if Devin's not having a night, other guys step up and have a night, like Campaign. They got benched, a good bench. They're a good team. So I'm very high in the Suns. I think the Suns are going to make noise. I don't think they're done yet. I think they're winning another series and maybe another. Go, Suns, go. I'm very happy about that. But we shift over to the Eastern Conference, and Philadelphia seems to have put it in gear. When Joel Embiid wants to be good at basketball, Joel Embiid tends to be a very good player. Clint Capella can't stop him. John Collins can't stop him. Nobody can stop him. He has more free throws. He has 47 free throws in this series, where the Atlanta Hawks combined, besides Trae Young, has 45. Now, we know Trae Young's going to go out and draw fouls all day. You take Trae Young out of the equation, Joel Embiid has more free throws by himself than the whole entire Atlanta Hawks team. Crazy. Crazy. Atlanta and Nate McMillan have to make an adjustment. Because tonight, Monday night, Game 4, if Atlanta loses this, Atlanta's not coming back 3-1. They're not coming back 3-1. So, this is a must-win for Nate McMillan and his Atlanta Hawks. Because you're not going to go back in Philly and going to have to win 2, win Game 5 and Game 7 to win the series. So, Game 4 is a must. It needs to be done. Could they do it? I think so. Trae Young's good enough, but you're going to have a better performance in Game 3. Because if Trae Young's not going out to get you like 35, 40, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Now, Danny Green did get hurt. Maybe that could play a factor for the Hawks. Could that help them? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But Game 3, Philadelphia did a great job from start to finish. They kept the crowd out of the game. They were up by double digits most of the game and played well. They put a little late push towards the end, Atlanta did. They just couldn't come through in the end. And Philadelphia's got their home court right back. So they got Atlanta right where they want them. But Monday night, Atlanta is going to need to bounce back. And they can do it. They can do it. We'll see what Nate McMillan's made of. We'll see what Trae Young's made of. I expect a big night from Trae Young. I really do. I think Trae's going to have one of those nights where it's just spectacular. And if not, who's going to be the guy? Bogdanovich? John Collins? Someone's got to have to be that guy besides Trae. Because it's kind of like Denver. Atlanta's a little better than Denver when it comes to other scoring options. But it's the Trae Young show, and there needs to be other guys involved. Philadelphia is looking good, though. Philadelphia, if they take it back 3-1 to Atlanta, series, it's not done. It's not over, but it would be a very, very hard thing to turn around if you are the Atlanta Hawks. So we will see. I'm excited for Game 4. Atlanta's atmosphere needs to be good. Boo Ben Simmons every time he touches the ball, and that's all I can ask for. But we'll see. Now, we go back to the West Coast. The Clippers, Jazz. Well, Kawhi Leonard's as clutch as you can come. In the fourth quarters alone, when the Clippers win games, because they took Game 3, which was a must-win, because if you would have went down 3-0, not good if you were LA. Well, they kept the series alive. They get it to 2-1, and they protected their home court. But Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter, Mr. Clutch. In wins versus the Mavericks and now the Jazz. In the fourth quarters, Kawhi Leonard has played 43 total minutes. He has scored 43 points. He's averaging a point per minute when he's playing in the fourth quarter. He hasn't missed a shot, by the way. He's 16 for 16 on field goal attempts, 4 for 4 on threes, and 7 for 7 from the free throw line. So Kawhi, when you need him most, he's going to ball out. He is. And so LA played a great game. They blew out Utah, and Utah's going to have to go back to the drawing board. All you're doing is trying to take one if you're Utah. If you can go back to 3-1, it's kind of like Philadelphia-Atlanta situation. I don't see LA coming back from that. So Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, been extremely consistent. They have the same exact stat line over the whole entire playoffs, which is just beyond me. But the Clippers are they're too good of a team to be struggling this bad. I know they won, and they won big game 3. But you got to win game 4, because if you go down 3-1, it's not going to be looking good. It's not going to be looking good. Now, another team that's just like Phoenix is Utah. Well coached, well fundamentally sound, and a fun team to watch. Donovan Mitchell's a star. Now, if we can get a Utah-Phoenix series, that's an unbelievable series in the making. Now, another series that all of a sudden just shot up out of nowhere, which is unreal, is Milwaukee-Brooklyn. And I bashed Milwaukee, saying I thought this series was over. They're getting blown out game 1 and game 2 by Brooklyn. This is just horrible effort, to be honest. Well, then injuries happen. We know James Harden's hamstring injury, but game 3 was an absolutely disgusting, ugly game. It was in the 80s. Bruce Brown decided to take a last-second shot. People have had takes about it if it was good or not. I actually don't think it's terrible. I know Kevin Durant was heating up at the time, but if you look, Bruce had a wide open drive. He just cannot get the shot to fall. It was a terrible layup. But the bright idea was there. But now you shift to game 4, Sunday afternoon, and Giannis, what a game he had. 34 points, 12 rebounds. He had a plus-minus of 29 in the positive category. Now, where Mike Budenholzer made a huge adjustment coming into game 4 was he decided to push Giannis to the 5. And Giannis doesn't play the 5 sometimes, but they had a little foul trouble, and the Bucks went on a 16-2 run when they put Giannis at the 5 because Brooklyn's bigs were struggling with his length and athleticism, and Giannis was too good in the post. We'll see if Budenholzer decides to keep that throughout the playoffs and or the rest of the series and sees what if it works or if it not. A little tongue twister there. But I'll be interested to see that if he does. And Brooklyn, on the other hand, you got to be a little concerned. Kyrie Irving gets a sprained ankle. I'm not going to look. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Not Kyrie, not Ben Simmons, whatever. Is it a coincidence that it's the same ankle he stepped on a leprechaun with in Boston? Maybe. Hey, karma's a bitch. What can I say? But I do hope he heals up because he is he's a star in the league. He's fun to watch nonetheless. And you want everybody healthy. You never want to see any injuries. But I'll tell you what, though. If Kyrie's out for a long period of time, if James Harden's out a long period of time, the Brooklyn Nets are the Boston Celtics. Kevin Durant, right? Think about it. Jason Tatum, without Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum didn't have like a second guy to go to. Not Kemba Walker, he's a joke. So it was basically Tatum against everybody. It's going to be Kevin Durant versus everybody. You could say Joe Harris. You could say this and that. No, without Kyrie, without James Harden, the Brooklyn Nets are an average basketball team, just like the Boston Celtics were. And I know Kevin Durant's amazing, and you never want to count a team out when they have Kevin Durant. But you got to look at it. Because second unit is so good for Brooklyn sometimes because they leave a guy like James Harden on the floor, or Kevin Durant, or Kyrie. They don't have that opportunity. So I think it swings to Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's the team to beat now in this series. If there is no Kyrie, if there is no James Harden, I think Milwaukee is now the favorites, which is an unbelievable turn of events. It's a massive turn of events because you're looking after game 2, you had a combined victories of like 25-30. It was blowout after blowout. Milwaukee was just getting smoked. No heart. Well, let me tell you, game 3, they took an ugly game out, which was massive because if you would have lost game 3, you're not coming back from 3-0. So that was huge to get. In game 4, with the big win, you look at Milwaukee, and it was pretty handily. When Kyrie went out, you could tell Milwaukee is 20 times better. So Kevin Durant can only do so much. And I expect Kevin Durant, they're not going to go down without a fight. This could go 7. Won't be the least bit surprised. But I'll tell you what, Milwaukee getting both on their home court is massive. They protected home court, and it was good to see the fans outside of the arena. It was awesome. Kind of like what the Raptors have up in Canada. It was good. It's good. We're getting back to normal, so you love to see that. But Milwaukee, huge win. Game 5 is a huge one because if Milwaukee can go into Brooklyn and take it, I'm not saying it's over because this Brooklyn Nets team's good. James Harden has a chance of coming back, but that would be tough. That'd be tough to win in Milwaukee. So huge turn of events with the Kyrie injury. Like I said, you never want to see anybody get hurt, even if it is your arch nemesis, Kyrie Irving, whatever. But the NBA playoffs have been electric. It's had some good matchups. I'm just happy because the Suns are looking brilliant, and I would love to see the Suns in a NBA Finals. So shout out Devin Booker, shout out Chris Paul, Monty Williams, and James Jones. Talk about a guy who's had unbelievable success in the NBA. James Jones just basically ring chased. Went on whatever team LeBron was and would get ring after ring after ring. And now he's retired and he's the GM of the Suns. And I can't tell you, I can't give him enough credit of what he's done with Phoenix. He's done an amazing job. And Phoenix is a 2 seed. Phoenix is in the Western Conference Finals. James Jones, hat off to you. Shout out you. Phoenix versus Utah, Phoenix versus LA, whichever it's going to be. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be good. Now, baseball. We know we got the College World Series. We'll probably talk more about it when it gets shorter and shorter. There's just so many teams left still. I know they're going to Omaha now, so we've cut down to like 8 or 16, however many there are. But I do want to talk about a crazy stat. The best team in the country, which was Arkansas, the Arkansas Razorbacks, outscored their opposition 28-11 on total runs. Because if you don't know, in Game 1, it's always best of 3, right? But in Game 1, Arkansas beat NC State 21-2, a 19-run deficit. Unreal. It was going to look like this was going to be a walk in the park for the Razorbacks. They're going to be going to Omaha. Well, NC State has I believe, the most road wins in the whole entire country. I could be wrong, but I think they're at least up there. Yeah, they come back, win Game 2, and they win Game 3. Over the number 1 overall seed, the best team in baseball, who everybody had favored to win. Baseball is super cruel. Super cruel. You outscore a team by 17 runs and still don't advance to the College World Series. That's what makes baseball insane. Any given night, anybody can win. That's why it's one of the hardest sports to bet, too, if you're a sports bettor, because any given night, anybody can win. Mental. That's a crazy stat. That's an unbelievable stat. And another unbelievable stat. Jacob Degrom has 7 RBIs on the year now. He's given up 4 runs. So April, May, June, we're about 3 months into the season. Jacob Degrom's given up 4 runs. Jacob Degrom has a 0.56 ERA, which is on pace to be the best in MLB baseball history. I think he was the fastest to hit 100 strikeouts in a season since like 1950, 1960, some incredible stat like that. He just keeps rewriting the history books. It's getting absurd at this point what Jacob Degrom can do. And I've always had the debate if you think you could hit, like you get 100 at-bats, right, against an MLB pitcher, do you think you can get a hit? No shot. No shot. If you have the confidence that you're going to go out and touch Jacob Degrom, good luck. MLB hitters can't even hit Jacob Degrom. You can get yourself 100 bats, no chance. Jacob Degrom is so filthy, and everybody else that pitches, I'm not getting a hit off of. Hell no. But Jacob Degrom's just another level. He's the best pitcher in baseball. He's a top 5 player in all of baseball, not matter position-wise, because he's just that good. He's so dominant, and he's going to win Cy Young. He does this year in and year out. But his 0.56 ERA is insane. He can go out next start, give up 3 runs. He would still maintain an ERA, I believe, under 1, and he would have as many RBIs as runs given up. That's a recipe for success. That's why the New York Mets are in first in the division. And this is why the Braves, who are an absolute joke right now, are in dangerous territory of getting their season cut ended early if they don't get it together. Pick it up. Simple. That is baseball talk with Mac. Now, we go to the Euros. We know I'm a huge soccer fan. I talk soccer a lot. I wish the U.S. would grow the game some more because it's a beautiful sport. Now, scary sight. Scary sight on Saturday afternoon. Christian Erickson, great player, by the way, 29 years old, I believe, 28, 29, played for Tottenham for a little bit, and then he went over to Inter Milan. and it's insane. They're playing Finland. Denmark does a little throwing, and Christian Erickson just kind of goes to the ground face first and completely just passes out. Has a heart attack on the field, and a captain named, I'm gonna butcher the name, but Simon Kyrie, something like that, the Denmark captain, basically helped save his life by pulling out his tongue so he wouldn't swallow his tongue and choke on it, which is unbelievable. And went over and comforted Erickson's wife and his family, which that's always good to see. But Christian Erickson was pronounced gone. Like, for a couple seconds, Christian Erickson was dead on the field from a heart attack, which is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And luckily the game's CPR. He awoke, and he's in the hospital doing okay now, which is so incredibly scary that this could happen to anybody. This could happen to absolutely anybody. You look at the soccer players, they're some of the most fit athletes in the whole entire world, running in 90 minutes every single game and in the best shape out of anybody. And something like this can happen to anybody. It just shows you how precious life is, because that's crazy. It's crazy. And I'll tell you what was sickening, though, over the weekend. It was sickening. It was good by the Denmark players and Finland to, like, box out so the camera angles couldn't get them, because it was sickening what the camera angles were trying to do. They're trying to get shots of him on the ground, dead, passed out. Come on, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. And then when the players go around him so you can't see him anymore, you're going to go to his family? You're going to go to his wife and kids? Have a little common human decency. Whoever that was should be fired, because that was absolutely disgusting from the TV crew. It was absolutely disgusting what they did. And it's just gross. It's gross. But I know Finland ended up coming up and winning, which was insane, because Denmark outshot Finland 17-0 at one point, and then Finland gets a penalty. They scored. They didn't even celebrate, because, you know, it's you have to go and try to win still. But when something insane like that happens, it's hard to get your mind off of it. There really is no winners, but there is at the same time, because you have to win to try to advance in the tournament. But it's just so unbelievably scary. And prayers out to Christian Erickson and his family. Hopefully he's doing good, because that is just an unbelievable thing to have happen to anybody. But to see it on live TV too, just crazy. But hopefully Denmark can go out and get a couple wins in his honor, because he's one of their leaders too. He's a great player. This isn't just like a rando. No, Christian Erickson's a world-class footballer. He's a good player. He really is. But that was just insanely sad to see. Now, I'm going to talk about teams. We haven't seen Portugal yet. We haven't seen France. We haven't seen Germany. Some of the powerhouses, right? But some of the powerhouses we have seen is Roberto Mancini, his Italy squad, now unbeaten in 28 of their last 28 games. They have not lost 28 games in a row. They're unbelievable. They, a lot of people predicted Turkey to be a dark horse this tournament. They still could be, but let me tell you, Italy just put an absolute masterpiece up against them. 3-0 win for the Italians. They win 3-0. They were great. Italy looks good. Belgium, 3-0 to Russia. Belgium looks good. Romelu Lukaku, he's great. Lukaku might win the Golden Boot of this tournament. Belgium, without Kevin De Bruyne, their midfield looked good. They looked great as a whole. They win 3-0. And then my game so far of the tournament, just so far, is the Netherlands-Ukraine. What an absolute game. The Netherlands go up 2-0. It looks like this is just, they're outmatched. Ukraine's outmatched. They don't really have a chance. And then they score an absolute screamer in the second half. And no keeper in the world is going to save it. 2-1. Then they get a set piece, score off a header, 2-2. And then late in the game, Netherlands go and get one to win 3-2. There was 5 goals scored in the second half. Back and forth. It was absolutely unbelievable. It was super awesome to see. That's my game of the tournament so far. And then lastly, I want to touch on England. You're going to hear the intro song in a second. One of my favorite songs ever, actually. It's called 3 Lions. It's basically the England anthem. It's beautiful. Hey, England wins their first group stage opener at the Euros of all time, which is unbelievable for how long soccer's been around and England's been around. It was their first one at the Euros. And I'll tell you, it's Raheem Sterling. Gareth Southgate had a questionable lineup. A lot of people were upset with Grealish on the bench. And playing Sterling. And Sterling's not in form, but he finally got a goal. And hopefully that can boost his confidence. And that was huge. That was the World Cup semifinal rematch from a couple years ago. England gets the revenge. England takes 3 points. You love it. I think this England squad's good. Yes, they only won 1-0. It was their opening match. You look at the wonder boy Phil Foden. He hits the post. Harry Kane, he missed one that he should have bagged. So England had a lot of opportunities. You had one, Mason Mount missed an unlucky free kick. So they were all over Croatia. And England did look good. Just didn't finish their dinner. They should have scored a couple more. But, hey, long tournament, 3 points is 3 points. You try to move on in advance, right? And that's exactly what they did. Right now, they're at the top of the group doing this podcast on Sunday night. Scotland, Czech Republic haven't played yet. I'm sure by most of you guys are listening to this, you will know the result because that's the 9 a.m. game on Monday morning. But England looks good. They should win the group. Round of 16, whoever they get between France, Germany, or Portugal is going to be an absolute classic unless something crazy happens where England doesn't win the group. But England looks good, and let me tell you, I love the fans. You got all these 50, 60-year-old men with their shirts out, beer bellies hanging out, just throwing shirts around. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love England fans. They're actually hysterical. You love to see it. And on that note, football's coming home. We're gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna keep talking about England bringing home the trophy back to England, and you'll hear it in this song. It's a great song. If you guys never listened to it, actually, just give it a quick listen. I'm gonna play the full song for you guys. It's a good one, but. Go on, England. Gets in. Jordan Pickford, clean sheet. You love to see it. Stones played great in the back line. Kyle Walker, he had a bit of a howler, but picked it up. Carry-on, Trippier, he was great. And the midfield was great. I can't give enough praise to Calvin Phillips. Man of the match, gets the assist from Leeds. He's a Leeds guy. Great game from Calvin. Great win, England. You love to see it. Come on, you Three Lions. Next game Friday against Scotland. But I'm so happy the Euros are back. It's a beautiful tournament. It's beautiful. When all this international stuff happens, like the Euros or the World Cup, it's beautiful. You hear a bunch of national anthems that I would never give a crap about, but it's actually kind of cool to learn. And you see cool stories like North Macedonia. They've never been in a tournament like this and have all their fans in country and that they make proud, even though they lost. There's still memories upon memories, and that's what sports is about, right? So we got a good summer ahead of us with the Euros. I'm excited. And that's going to do it. Suns are a wagon. And hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a good one. I love you guys. Peace out. Here comes Three Lions. Come on, England.